Hello, guys. Welcome to the streaming. I just doing a quick sound test. I just want to be sure that actually you can hear me. So probably you are going to hear, as always, myself repeating. But I just want to know if you can hear me. Just let me know into the chat if you can hear me. Okay, guys. So how are you? Okay, I haven't received an answer yet. That probably means that you are not able to hear me. Just give me a second. I will, if you can hear me, just let me do a double check here. Okay, once more. Let me open the next app. Just a second, guys. Just a minute. Let me check here in live streamings. For some reason, okay, perfect. So thank you so much for telling me that. Matthias also named it as Mini Diamond. It's telling me that you can hear me. Also Loan and Night. Okay, guys, perfect. So I just wanted to confirm. Let me switch my screen. Let me reduce the music a little bit also. And now you are able to hear me, guys, and see me. So how are you guys? Welcome to the class number 4. Welcome to, or actually not 4, 5, sorry. And welcome to this adventure. Okay, no. Really, is it class number 5 or 4? I'm confused. Yeah, it's the class number 4. Remember that now we have only 5 classes. So it's the streaming numbers 5, but it's the class number 4. So I see a lot of you already here. So welcome Leshui. Welcome Matthias, welcome Lonebox, welcome Basti Soriano, welcome Joseph Morales, as always coming in the morning and the evening to the streaming. Welcome Bao, welcome Green Biker, also Suba, welcome to the streaming. I'm very good, thank you for asking. Welcome Knight, and also welcome Mio, and who else is around here? All right. Yeah, see, so let's do this. If you can send me like a chat via Discord, Basti Soriano, I will be able to talk with you about that, and we're gonna discuss if you can be a moderator. But thank you so much for your interest, okay? So guys, in the screen right now, before starting, for those that are not from that are coming from different languages, you're gonna see the time, and that I'm going to give the codes. We are going to do that as usually most of you are from Vietnam, and Alien Game used to do that. So take note, the first code I'm going to give it at 7:30 in the PM in Vietnam time. If you're in China, I think it's 1 hour more. Depending of your country, is going to be less or more time about that. And yeah, we are going to give a total amount of 3 codes. So the first one is going to be at 7:30 p.m. and the second one is going to be at 8 p.m. and the final one is going to be at 8:30 p.m. Anyway, I have also a code for those that are going to answer a couple of questions that I'm going to do in the chat, okay? Now, guys, let me continue reading the chat. I see. I'm going to try to be a little bit slower, as Knight is telling me that sometimes he doesn't understand some sentences. Probably that can be due to my accent. Sometimes we got an accent, as you know. I'm not like English speaker by mother language. Actually, I'm a Spanish speaker, but I learned English. Okay, all right. Glad to know that. Okay. Yeah, Basti. Let me tag you because probably you are not understanding me well. All right, guys. So let's start with the class. And let's start just with the class, okay? So today is the class number 4. Let me switch the screen to the presentation so you will be able to see a little bit better what we are going to do today. So in the screen you are seeing right now that today is going to be the class number 4. it's going to be the streaming 5, of course, but the class is the class number 4, as the first class just was a party, okay? And today we are going to learn cool things. Remember that we have to finish because we weren't able to finish the last part of the previous class. And as always, we are going to learn how to do a party tycoon game. In the screen, you're seeing the prices right now. Just once more to telling you and explain about everything very quick. What we can win on this one is, first we got a price about $60 for 5 people, and this is going to be just the excellent award, guys. How it works for the excellent award is if you have the best map, or a map that is very enjoyable, that has no books or almost no books, because let's be realistic, we can have sometimes 1 or 2 books. You can win this one. It's for $60. It's like the best price, okay? Next, we have the most creative one. This is for the most innovative maps, but very important, the innovation that you made on this one needs to be something important, something that gives an extra mile, that gives something extra to the gameplay, that makes the gameplay more enjoyable. So be sure that that innovation is going to be something very powerful for your players. This is about for $40, so you can earn $40 if you want this one, and it's up to 5 people to win this, okay? Next, we have, as always, the best learning. Remember that minicamp is a learning event. That means that you actually come here to learn. So we have a price that is going to be up for 20 people. That's a lot more people, and it's going to be up to $30. So remember, you can win this one. And finally, but not least, in money on available prices, you have $15 for best progress up to 30 people. That is the most or the one that most people can win. And this is going to be for all of you that are not developers at all, or are just developers in level 1, level 2. And how it's going to work is, yeah, just for people. It's like the amateur price, so you can compare that with an amateur price, okay? Then we got the shortlisted, guys. The shortlisted, as always, is going to be just for you. If you create a Tycoon map, party map, I'm going to rank those, and if it completes the requirements, I'm going to add you into the shortlist. And all the players and the students that won the shortlist are going to earn a permanent avatar. Also, this time we have a submission avatar. Of course, you need to submit a Tycoon map, and this is going to be for 7 days avatar. And we add, so as I mentioned in all the previous classes on this season of the minicamp, we got a traffic hour, so we are going to help you out to get more downloads and to promote your map, okay? All right, so in the screen you're seeing actually the schedule for the class. And if you see right now, we are in the class number 4, in the quick number 3. That means that we are just here, and we left the class of tomorrow. Starting tomorrow, you can start submitting your map, and you will have until the 13th of March. Very important, guys, take note of this, okay? Because this is going to be almost one of the most important things. And it's in the 13 you cannot submit more maps, okay? And this is going to be Chinese time, so be sure that in your area you submit before that. My personal recommendation, also aliens on most of the teachers are going to tell you this, try to submit your map 1 day before. Why? Because there can be a lot of problems when you try to submit your map. As an example, in your area, maybe the internet may be broken, maybe unavailable, so try to submit always 1 or 2 days before the final date, okay? And also we have the week about the awards, so we are going to take a time to rank and score your maps. Probably this time, as Alien Game is not anymore streaming, it's not anymore teaching, I'm going to receive a lot of maps from Vietnam. So we take around 3 days to rank and score the maps, okay? So around March 16, we are going to get the winners, okay? So take it, very important, take a screenshot, take note of this time. Remember that if you lose this date, you won't be able to submit your map, okay? So the most important thing, guys, submit your map before, okay? Not on that day, before March 13, okay? And yeah, as always, before continuing, I'm just going to give you the code, or not the code, the link, so you can visit our Discord group, okay? All right, so in the chat, I see that. Uh-huh. Yes, I know how to edit scripts. We made a tutorial in the previous minicamp. This minicamp, I don't have that much amount of scripts because it was a requirement, as a lot of you were a little bit loose with the scripts. I reduced the amount of scripts, okay? So guys, very important, don't worry for that. If you want to check how to edit scripts, check the previous tutorials. Also, I have an introductory tutorial in the channel, so you can go ahead and check that tutorial. I think it's being called create your own credits with the scripts, and with that you have an introduction. Also, in each minicamp, I do a small introduction, so just check the first 3 classes of any of the previous minicamps, and you're gonna see how to do the scripts, okay? All right, and welcome, Iceberg, of course. So, very important, guys. As always, we are going to have different prices, but guys, remember, the different codes are going to give it not as I used to do it, that it was like I finish a topic and then I give the code. This time I'm going to give it for the time, so all the people that come from another streamings or from another countries that don't want to check the class and just come for the code, it's going to see the code and it's going to be able to live without having that kind of amount of spam in the chat. Okay, guys? So truly sorry for that, guys. I know that most of you prefer to get the code once we finish this topic, but this time we are going to do it different. If it works, we are going to continue with this dynamic. If it doesn't work, I'm going to switch back to the previous one. Okay, guys? And yeah, for this class is very important, guys. Remember that previously, in the previous minicamps, in the previous classes, sorry, we get this schema that you can use, this tree that you can use to create your own UID, because, sorry, your user interface, because I know, guys, that this is kind of hard at the beginning, but following the tips that I give you in the class number 3 and the class number 2, you will be able to create a very, very awesome user interface. Okay, guys? So go ahead and check that. This is just a resume for that, like a recap, so you can check that, okay? But remember that the full class is going to give you all the details for that. Now, for this class, we are going to continue creating the activity menu triggers. It's going to be the section number 2. And after that, we are going to learn how to create the activity menu buttons, okay? I'm going to take out this because I get distracted with the music. I'm very distracted person, so I have to do that, okay? So we are going to start with once more with activity menu triggers. So we are going to finish our brain, and then we are going to create a couple of buttons, okay? So you are going to learn the basics to create your activities. You just need to reply that and copy and paste when you finish that, and then we are going to start working in our reaction bar system, okay? Of course, we cannot finish that today. We are going to finish tomorrow, and that's going to take a little bit of time, but you are going to learn the basics today, okay? So let's start, guys, with the activity menu part number 2, okay? And just to be sure, guys, I don't remember well where we were the last time that we finished that. So I want to be sure in which part we left, okay? I remember that we create almost all the different triggers for teleport, for give items, for clear items, but I'm not sure about that, okay? So please let me know, guys, where we left the last part, so I will be able to continue on that part, okay? Just a second. All right, so, and just while MiniWord loads, check this, guys. We are going to keep using this. That is going to be in our activity list, okay? This is very important, guys, because we are going to work a lot with this today. And also we are going to work a lot with this on the next classes, okay? Also, we have an emoticon list, so be sure that you take that information with you, okay, guys? So also, if you have any questions about this, before we start the class, just let me know, okay? Because it's important, okay? I see that a lot of you have questions about that because we never used before the activity list on this channel. Not the activity list, sorry, the groups, the variable with groups. So I want to be sure that everything is clear for you guys, okay? All right? Okay, so have a good day, Mati, and thank you so much for coming this morning. I know that in Argentina probably it's very early in the morning. I'm not sure, but I think it's going to be at least 5 a.m. So thank you so much for coming. And also I see here that New York Humay it's coming, so welcome also to the streaming. And also I see Pew Kang Nguyen here, okay? So guys, let me continue here. Oh, by the way, did you see, guys, that MiniWord has been updated just today? Okay. All right. So in the last class, let's take a little bit. MiniWord sometimes takes its time to load, but in the last class, if I'm not wrong, and if you see that we left a part, please let me know. Okay. So I want to be sure that we don't skip any part of this. And in the last class, guys, in the last streaming, we left in the part that we were creating the teleporting part about this. Okay, so if I'm not wrong, we were working here, all right? And oh, what happened here? Okay, mini word. All right, that's completely weird. Okay, let me see if I can fix that, because I don't know what happened. Sometimes that is just a bug, guys, okay? Okay, let me try to start the map again, and we are going to see if it works. All right? In the meanwhile, guys, for those that are coming to the streaming from other countries, this is going to be the times that I'm going to give the code, just in case, okay? So if you want the code, guys, remember that you can come back at 7:30, okay? All right, let me check how it's going for ManyWord. If we can see, yeah, now it's working. Oh, it's a big relief, because I was a little bit scary that this disappears, but no, it's working fine, so it's okay. So if we go to the trigger section, the activation section, you are going to see here that we work until this part. If I'm not wrong, we work until the teleport about the code, okay? So let me explain this very easily while MiniWord restarts, and I'm going to explain before starting here what we are going to work with today, okay? So in the screen, you're going to see what we are going to do today, and is that we are going to create, apart from the normal, we used to have those three with those four, okay? So the four different triggers that we create at the last class are going to work. First, this one is going to just get the score for all the players on the different activities, so we will know for sure that the best player is going to win. Then we have something that is going to reset the inventory bar, okay? What happened, guys, okay? And this is very important. What happened is that for some players, it's very important to do this, because yes, we are going to have different activities. Imagine that the players can go to another activity with all the items. As an example, they were just playing the part about painting and drawing, and they live with all the items. Probably if they go to another activity like singing, they will be able to use those blocks to exit from the map. So it's very important, okay? Now, also, we got like the give items. This is going to actually use the list that we created before, just to give items to the players, like the name explanatory, okay? And teleport is going to move the players, okay? All right, so as the players can be moved, and we already finished those four, we have like covered all the main functions, and those are going to be just support functions. What does it mean? That these are not going to be the main triggers about our system. It's just going to be supports that we are going to use with our brain, okay? And today we are going to learn how to create our brain, okay? And what happens, guys? We are going to have different interactions. And how it's going to work for this, we are going to have two folders. The first folder is being called brain, and it's going to handle all the main functions for this activity menu. That means that it's going to control the timing and everything. And then we are going to have interactions. Actually, on here, we are going to save all the click activities, okay? So what does it mean? When I give a click on our interface, I can click in any part of the interface. And what is going to happen is that two different triggers are going to work at the same time, okay? The first one is going to be called select any activity. And what it contains? It contains all the command actions and feedback that we are going to use for all activities. As an example, it's going to make sounds. It's going to tell the player, hey, the host choose an activity, is going to take the timer to the next activity. It's going to do all the basic things. And click in your activity. It's going to set up the variables for the activity. As an example, is going to tell the game before the game teleports the player where they are going to be teleported, what are going to be the rules, and all the things that are not general, okay? So this is going to contain all the things that are going to be the same for the different activities, and this is going to contain the personal activities, okay? That's going to be the first part. That's going to be how it works. And then we are going to have an activation, okay? Once we have to set up the variables and select the activity, the functions, we are going to have a timer, okay? What it's going to do the timer is that it's going to take only 10 seconds, just for have enough time for the players to know that we are going to go to the next activity. So that means that during 10 seconds, the players can move freely. You can set up that time, but I recommend it to follow just the same I did, okay? So you are going not to be loose. You are going to be able to follow the same instructions I made. Then it's going to happen next. When the 10 seconds pass, you are going to execute another trigger, okay? And on here, it's very confusing, but we are going to have three triggers, okay? The first one is being called activity ini, next activity ini. And what it's going to do is just to, it's like a reset for our system. It's going to delete the items, it's going to clear the selections, and it's going to restore the default values for all the players, okay? And then it's going to check if there is any activity. So when we do this, it's going to execute two activities at the same time. The first one is next activity oak. That means that if we have any activity, guys, if after this we are going to have, as an example, signing or whatever activity we choose, is going to tell the player, okay, so yes, there is going to be an activity, so we are going to show the instructions, we are going to make some effects, and we are going to start the timers. But if there is no activity, if after these 10 seconds pass and this is being executed, there is no activity, the game is going to enter into relax time, okay? Remember, relax time is just the time for the players to choose the activities. Once more, if we switch to our part, we have choose, we have relax, and the activity. So it's going to switch back to relax, okay? So relax is just the time that the players are going to take to choose the next activity. Of course, if this works, it's going to have the same trigger activated, that same countdown, and is going to take this time 120 seconds. Remember also that with the reaction bar that we are going to learn, you can extend this time, but after the game finish, after the time for the activity finish, also we are going to switch to the trigger that says relaxed time, okay? So today we are going to learn how to do all of those, but we are going to first start with those four, and once we finish those four, we are going to learn how to do our interactions, okay? So, moving here to triggers, you are going to see the same thing that I see here, okay? So we already work on this four first, that were teleport, give items, clear items, and add a score. That was the first one for support functions. Yeah, we already finished that. And we are going to start with select an activity, activity ini, activity oak, and relax time. That you are going to see, of course, on the top of this, okay? So, what we are going to do today, guys, is that we're gonna start right now we gonna start by creating this, okay? So the first thing I want you to do, guys, the first thing I want you to check is that we are going to create all the different activities, but we always start from the bottom to the top. Why is this? Because actually this one is going to use those three, this one is going to call those two, and this one is going to call this one. So if we use backwards to go to the top, we are going to have everything ready, okay? So the first thing that we are going to do is we are going to create a next activity org that is going to be this one, the trigger that we saw here, okay? And what we are going to do, you need to do the next setup, okay? You are not going to add, oh guys, and this is very important, don't add any condition or any event here, okay? So we are just going to add actions, okay? Remember, this is going to create instructions, create special effects, and it's going to start the timers so the players will know for sure that they are going to have an activity and or they are going to have all the information, okay? So the first thing that we are going to do is that we are going to go to player group and we are going to create a chat info for all the players, okay? So how does it work, guys? Once we add this one, remember, you are going to have something like this. In the first square, you are going to place the players who are going to see this, okay? So as all the players are going to check that, just go to player group and select all the players, okay? And you're seeing something strange here. As you see, there is nothing, but I'm going to show you a trick, okay? I'm going to copy this and I'm going to use a notepad to show you how it works, okay? So that is what I put in here, and let me explain how it works, okay? So this it's going to be a new line, okay? New line means that it's going to do the same as put enter or just press enter, okay? It's going to create a new line, okay? So as an example, I'm going to put an example here. If you put something like, hey, next game, and you put something like this on here, what it's going to do is that this is not going to be seen and it's going to do this, okay? So what I'm doing here is placing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 ends, okay? What does it mean? That we are going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So it's a way to clear the screen so all the information is going to be first. Even if the players chat something, this message are going to disappear and the screen is going to be completely empty, so the players will see better the information, okay? So very important, guys, remember that is just you need to put this like this, and very important, it's like this and not like this, okay? So this one is not going to be the same, okay? This one is not going to work. You need to search for this one, okay? All right, so once you put it, and let me show you here, if I put backslash and end, you are not going to see anything because the game is going to detect this as an enter, so you're not gonna see anything. Hello, how are you? And welcome to the streaming. I don't remember how to pronounce your name because it's in Japanese, and I don't know how to pronounce Japanese, but welcome to the streaming. Okay, all right, guys, so we are going to do a pause here. I'm going to give you the code because as you see here, I have the timing for give you the code, okay? So I'm going to start also answering questions. In case you have any questions, just let me know. I'm going to put the first code here, okay? And I'm going to put this into the top, all right? And also I'm going to claim it just to see what we gonna get and be sure that it's going to work, okay? Or not, I'm going not to copy and paste it, but you're gonna have the code right there, okay? All right, so as I mentioned before, that is just going to clear the screen, so you're gonna be sure, and you are going to be sure, not a problem, it's a pleasure for those that are saying thank you. That the screen is going to be completely clear when the player is gonna see the information, okay? So that's very important. I'm going to take also time to take a coffee because I'm sleepy right now. Oh, okay. Mm. It's nice to have a coffee in the morning. Oh, mine is completely cold. I forgot to warming up, but it's good. All right. So, guys, if you have questions, take the time to ask me. I'm going to take around 5 minutes just to show you this. And welcome, Truong Ding Xuan. Welcome to the class. And yeah, I'm going to take that time. So I'm going to take around 5 minutes or less to show you the code. So if you have any question, guys, just let me know. I will be able to answer all your questions right now. All right. So remember, guys, this is going to be 730 code. Okay, 730 code. Remember, just a quick show. The other codes are going to be around 8 p.m. Let's put this in lowercase so it's going to be easier to read. Okay, let's do this. It's going to be easier for read for you. All right. All right. So it's going to be this on Vietnam time. Okay. So we already give this. If you want to see the other one, remember to come back at 8 p.m. in Vietnam time. Okay. All right. So let's move back to the code once more. I just want to be sure that all of you were able to claim it. All right. Also remember that I pinned it just in the top. So in the chat, you are going to see it in the top. Okay. All right. We have 733. So I see that Kimi Nguyen says hi. I think hey is or hi, it's thank you. So you're welcome. And well, all right, guys. So 1 minute more for taking the code, and then I move forward. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. Whew. Okay, it's very cold right now on here, so it's making very cold. It's like raining and everything, so it's very cold. All right. How it's the weather in your area, guys? It's raining, it's cold. I think most of you are coming from tropical areas, but just let me know, okay? All right, 7:34. So we are going to move back to the class, okay? All right. So on here, you at the end, you are going to see something like this. Okay. So remember, this is just for clearing the screen. Okay. Then we are going to take a time. So remember this. Remember that I'm going to take some times, and this time that I making or the pauses I making by triggers is it's just to make the players wait a little bit before receiving the next instruction. So the players are going to receive the instructions by parts, okay? So how we are going to do this? First, we are going to add an action. We are going to just move to timer, and we are going to put a timer, okay? Waiting time. And remember, guys, it's going to be this action, okay? And you are going to wait 3 seconds, okay? So just 3 seconds, no more. And before to perform the next action, and then we are going to create an effect, okay? Or a sound, sorry, in the central region of the area, okay? So you are going to just go to here, and let me put this in full screen so it's going to be better. So you are going to move to sound effect, and you are going to put sound effect on position, okay? So you have to look on those, and you have to search for the one that says turn on sound effects in position, okay? Don't use pliers, don't use creatures. You are going to use just position, okay? And okay, I put another one, sorry for that. And what you are going to put on there, it's the next information. And here you have to expand. You are going to select function library, and you are going to select central location of an area, okay? And very important, guys, on here, you need to create this variable, okay? The variable name is going to be next activity area, okay? Try to use the same name I'm using. Try to use the same uppercase and lower cases. This is very important, okay, guys? All right, so next activity area, that's going to be the one, and we can play whatever sound you wanted, okay? Let me give you a quick pause to the music and hear the sound, okay? The sound I'm placing is this one, okay? So that's the sound that I'm using for just teleport the players. If you see, I modify a little bit the key, just to make it a little bit more cartoon sound, but that's it, okay? And the volume I increased it a little bit. You can use whatever sound, okay? But you can try to be sure that you place the sound because it's going to give feedback to the players. Next, we have a displayed content to all the players, okay? So how do you do this? Once more, what we are going to do is just the same we did before. As you see here, if I copy this, okay? If I copy this, it's going to be the same, okay? We are going to clear the screen again. So what you can do is just copy and paste at the first option here, okay? Now, next, we are going to wait 4 seconds, okay? So what you can do is just copy and paste or add manually from here. Just go to triggers, timer, waiting time, okay? Remember, waiting time. And you are going to wait 4 seconds, okay? Before performing the next action, okay? Now, once more, we are going to make a sound. So as you see, this is not going to send in text. This is going to make the sounds. And be sure to use the same timing I'm using because this is going to be important, okay? So what you are going to do here is you are going to just copy and paste, okay? So we can use the same sound here. Just copy and paste, and you are going to have the same sound right here, okay? Then we have to wait another 4 seconds, sorry. So just copy and paste, and you are going to have also another 4 seconds, okay? Remember, this is a copy of this, and then we are going to have a sound, okay? So once more, you can add it manually or just copy it, okay? You can go here, sound, and use player sounds on the position, or you just can go ahead, copy and paste right here the information. This time I'm using a different sound. This is going to be the sound for the players when the players start the round. Let me put my audio on because probably I'm not hearing very well on here. And let me see if I'm the wrong. All right, yeah, that's the sound I'm placing. Okay, it's a different sound from the previous one because this time it's like, hey, we're gonna start, so this is going to be the sound. So it needs to be different, okay? So remember the third sound is going to be different and the central location is the same, okay? So remember all of the sounds are going to be central location of area and next activity area, okay? And that's it. As you see, we have like a lot of sounds and a lot of weights here, okay? Then you gonna show a text to the players. The text that you are going to show, guys, is the next one. You can add an action and you can go here to player group, and in player group you are going to display chat info to a player group, okay? And remember to put all players here, and what I put here is actually something that says start, okay? Once more, I think I have an N here, okay? So let's try to copy all of them to see how it's actually really composed. So I'm going to move back to here, and as you see, I put an N here, so it's going to give a space or a line, a new line, so it's going to not to be instead like this, it's going to give the line and then the text on this area, okay? So that is why it's looking so strange here, but it's just a start, okay? So it's just to tell the players that they can start. And the most important part about this, guys, is that you need to put this last action, okay? So remember, this is just sound and some feedback in text, and the timing is very important. But on here, this is going to be the most important part. You need to add an action. The action, it's going to be timer, and it's going to be round countdown timer. And the timer that we are going to operate is being called next activity timer, okay? This is going to be the first one, and you put in here 180 seconds, okay? So remember this, guys, remember this. What we are going to do is this one exactly. We execute this, and we start the timer. So when it finishes, we are going to move to the normal area and we are going to start with normal activities, okay? All right, so that's how it's going to work, and it's going to be false. All right, so we already get this activity finish. We are going to move the next, okay? So we are going to start creating this one. This one is next activity ini, okay? And as you see, this one is going to have an event and conditions, and also is going to have an actions, okay? So before starting, once more, let me give you a reminder. So we already finished with this one. We are going to create this one. And what it's going to do, this one? This one is going to work every time that the timer stops and there is an activity that we already select actually. Okay, so it's going to create a default values, it's going to clear the items, so if the player has some items from the previous activity, it's going to delete it, and it's going to check if there is any activity. Basically, it's like the brain, okay? It's going to tell the game, oh, okay, the players need to stop, or the players needs to go to the next activity. So we are going to do that, okay? So, oops, sorry. So we are going to create that one here. And once more, we need to create a trigger. You are going to create it, and you are going to rename it as a next activity ini, okay? Very important, guys. The previous one was oak. This one is ini, okay? And we are going to do the next thing, okay? And please, guys, if I'm going too fast, that I know that happens a lot because, you know, guys, I'm a little bit accelerated sometimes, just let me know so I will be able to stop before continuing, okay? So let's do it. Let's take the time for working on this. What we are going to do first. First, we are going to add a trigger, okay? The trigger is going to check how many time left in our management loop, timer, the timer that we are using right here, okay? Once more, we're gonna check this, okay? So what we are going to do is designated timer change, okay? And what we are going to do when we add it, we are going to add the variable that says next activity timer. Once more, if you don't have it, you're supposed to have already created, but if you don't have it, just create it, okay? Next activity timer changes. We are going to check 3 different conditions. The first one is that we are going to check and be sure that this is going to execute only one time when the activity timer is equals to 0. Then we are going to be sure that the next activity, and for this is very important, it's greater than 0, okay? And I'm going to take the way back, next activity, it's greater to 0 or to 1, because if we have one activity, that means relax time. So this is only going to work if right here we have any activity apart from those two, just on here, okay? And the actual activity needs to be equals to 1. That means that the next activity, or the activity that selects the players, needs to be greater than relax, and the current activity is relax, that is just the time for select activity, okay? So we're going to start with this. We are going to add an action. We are going to move right here to tool, and we are going to choose determine timer time, okay? So as we choose determining timing time, we are going to have this. Just get inside, upper here, and select in variable, the variable that we already created, that we are just currently working with, that is called next activity timer, okay? And very important, this needs to be equals to 0, okay? So that means that it's going to execute when this activity is not timer left, because if we don't put this, this is going to execute every second. So that's not the way what we want it, okay? Then we are going to go to math, numerical comparison. And in numerical comparison, we are going to put in the first score. We are going to scroll down and select next activity. And very important, it needs to be greater than this one, okay? Needs to be greater than 1, okay? The number 1 is very important here. Then we can copy and paste, and we are going to have this one. We are going to change on here, and we are going to select activity. This time, the second one needs to be equals, okay? So it needs to be equals to the number 1. And at the end, you are going to have the 3 conditions right here, okay? Now, on here, we are going to set up some options. So the first one is that we are going to use the activity that the player schedule to the actual activity. How we are going to do that, okay? So players, as an example, selects this, okay? So current activity is going to be relax time. We are going to change the number, okay? So how we gonna do this is that we are going to scroll down. We are going to select assign. And remember that we are managing everything with value, okay? Value, it's the key right here. So it's like we using this key to select any of the different activities, okay? So we are going to use this, all right? And we are going to set it up. So select value setup, okay? And in the value, you are going to have two different spaces. What you are going to do is that you have to select this one. Just go ahead, click on that one and select activity. You're supposed to have already that variable created. Then you are going to select next activity, guys. And when you have next activity on here, it's supposed to be finished, okay? So remember, we are just set up the current activity to the next activity. And now we need to clear the next activity. So remember, we are going to select next activity as one. So if we move to our table, one is going to be this one. So that means that the players are going to be in relaxed state. Once more, like we have like different states here. So the states one is relaxed. Remember that here the player choose what is going to be next, okay? So how do you do that? Just copy and paste, okay? And when you copy and paste, you are going to change the information. In the first one, you are going to select next activity, and you are going to select number one, okay? Number one, once more, just in the screen, number one, it's going to be this one, okay? So we are going to set up next activity as this one, okay? All right. Now, we already create this trigger before, so we are going to execute that for all the players. So you are going to go here, you are going to select player group, and on there you are going to operate player on trigger set. What it's going to do is just tell the game, hey, I need this trigger to work for all the players, not for just one, so we are going to do that. So select operate trigger set, and in operate trigger set, we have to select which trigger. On here we have like our folders, so we have to go to brain and select teleport that we just created class before this one, okay? On here we are going to select which players are going to execute this, so select all the players, player group, all the players, and we are going to treat the conditions as false. We don't need to check the conditions, okay? So this is going to execute once more. All is triggered for all the players, okay? Now, we are going to set the next activity area. So next activity area is going to be the area where the players are going to be teleported, okay? So we are going to clear that. That means that before telling the game, hey, this is going to be the activity, just in case we are going to save a safe location, okay? So what we need to do is to add an action. The action is going to be assigned, and you are going to select area setup, okay? And once you got that, you are going to select next activity area on here, and it's going to ask you to choose where is going to be the area. So I need you to select the area where the players can be without activities, like put it a lobby, okay? Where the players can collect, can walk, but they cannot interact. So for this, I have one that is being called straight, okay? So I'm going to select that one. If I move back here, just to show you an example very quickly, guys, just a second, you are going to see that this is, okay, what happened? Minyword, you cannot do this to me. All right, yeah, it's working fine. So this is going to be the area I mentioned before. This is going to be the street one, okay? And yeah, if we check here, just to show you, is the street, all right? So that is going to be the region that we are going to work with. Okay, so check, be sure, guys, if you see the screen, this is not going to cover any part of the map. It's just a free area where the players are not inside an activity, are not inside of any room, and they can walk freely around, okay? All right, so be sure that you select that one, okay? So welcome Kang Nguyen. He's saying hello, so welcome to the class. All right, and then as you see here, we already got a lot of things set up and we left a couple of triggers right here, okay? So now players, let's continue guys. And now that we have that set up, we have to choose which trigger we are going to execute. Once more, we just create this one. So we are going to execute that trigger once more. So go ahead, choose here player group, and in player group, okay, let me do a double check. I'm not sure about this one. Okay, no, this is going to be just a normal trigger, so go to triggers and operate triggers. We are going to execute that for all the players at the same time. As we are not taking players, it's going to be okay. And we have to select which one, so it's going to ask us which trigger we need to operate. So you are going to select on here, brain, and remember we got this one, sorry, that says next activity okay. We are currently working on this one, but we previously created this one, so we are going to select that one, okay? The one that we just created before this, the trigger. And conditions are going to be false. Of course, we don't have conditions on that one, okay? So that's going to be the first one. The next one, you just copy and paste. No, sorry. You are going to add it manually, okay? The next one is going to be, just go to player group, and we are going to select once more, operate trigger on player set. And on here, we are going to just delete all the items for the players. So we need to select that in here, okay? We create that the previous class. So just select clear items, okay? Once more, you are going to go here and select clear items, okay? And you need to select all players here, and conditions needs to be false. All right, and you just copy and paste here, okay? Remember, just copy. Okay, and you are going to change this. Now, after we clear, we are going to give the items for the activity. So we are just going to select give items, okay? Remember, give items uses a table, uses a group to tell the players which item are going to want. And we finish with this one, okay? So what will be the next one? The next one will be relax time, okay, guys? And I'm going to be a little bit fast because in a little bit we have to give the next code. So we already finished with those two. With those two. Now we are going to create the standard, okay? So remember, this is going to actually give the players the time to choose the next activity. So it's going to be like default state. It's going to show a menu to the player, and it's going to allow the other players to walk around, to move around the map, to just be able to interact with other things that are not important for the different activities, okay? So we are going to do that, guys. We are going to use that because I think it's going to be very important, okay? So let's move and let's continue with it, okay? So on here, we are going to move around here, and we are going to create this activity, okay? So as you see, I put a number on here. It's because in my table, this is going to be the number one relaxed time, okay? It's just something that is going to make it easier to understand. So I could put the name on here, the number one, and the action that is going to be relaxed time, okay? So this is going to be a little bit different. So first action, if you check here, you can just go ahead and copy, okay? So you can go ahead, copy and paste on here, okay? So just go ahead from the next activity, just select copy and paste it right here, okay? Next, what you can do is to copy also the conditions, the first one, and you are going to move it here, okay? And also you are going to copy the second condition and you are going to move it here. And then you are going to copy the last one, okay? And you are going to move it here. So you are going to have one action and three activities, okay? Are just the same, but they are going to have different values. So on this one, you need to select next activity timer, okay? It's equals, and this is very important, guys, needs to be equals to the number 1, okay? And this is going to be the action. The second one, it's going to be edited also, and you have to select here activity, not next activity, just activity. It needs to be greater than, okay, this one, 1, okay? So if you see, this is inverted. So next activity on here is greater than, but in this one is 1. And on here, next activity is equals, and in here, this is greater than. So it's in the other way. It's inverted, okay, as you see. So we are going to use that one, and then we are going to start creating some cool things, okay? So the first one is telling the game that if this works, we are going to select the activity as number 1. Once more, number 1 means relax time, okay? So means that the activity, the current one, it's going to be number 1. So what you are going to do? You are going to add an action. The action is going to be assigned and it's going to be value setup, okay? Once we got value setup, we are going to select activity on the first one, and we are going to set up as the activity that we want. And the activity that we want right now, it's going to be the number 1, okay? So number 1, now next is going to show a text to all the players, okay? So what is going to be the text? Just go here, choose players, and then we are going to move a little bit here. Oh, let me stretch myself a little bit. Just a second, guys. Okay, now we can continue. So you're going to select display chat info here to the players, and then we are going to have a next information, okay? So once more, when you display chat to player group, it's going to ask you to team. Of course, select all the players because we are going to teach to all the players. Then you have to select which text, okay? So we are going to have a string concatenation here. Actually, you can do it however you want it, okay? Because I failed here. So just choose directly and put in here the host or the player is going to select the next activity, okay? Just to make the players know that we are currently in default state. So you can use the same text I have here, okay? If you want to put a different text, it's okay. I just put the table is going to select a next activity. No more things is needed here. Next, we have to, this one is not important for you guys. This is just for my map, so don't worry for this one. What we are going to add is we are going to add a new trigger, okay? So we are going to go to player group, and then we are going to select once more player group activity. Let me change the screen to so you will be able to see it better. It's the one that says operate trigger on a player set. And when you select operate trigger on a player set, you have to select the next one. On the first one, you are going to select triggers to brain, and you're gonna select teleport, okay? Remember, we create this the last class, so be sure that you select teleport. Then we need to choose to which players. So once more, select function library, player group, and all players, and conditions needs to be false. Then you copy on here, and you paste, and what you are going to change is just a trigger, okay? So we are going to select clear items. So once more, in brain, you have one that says clear items, so select that one, and that's it. And finally, we are going to take the score that the player gets during the activity, and we are going to add it to the total score. So just go ahead and copy, paste, and we are going to change this. You are going to go to trigger, brained, and add score, okay? That's it. No more things needed here. So just select add score and false, okay? And as you see right now, as you see right here, we have all the information here for the players, okay? So that means that we almost finished on here. We left only one activity, and then we can start to set up our buttons, okay? But as always, I'm going to give you the next code, okay? So we are going to, to check this code. This is going to be the code for 8 p.m. So I just put it on the chat, the code, guys. I'm going to replace the pinned message in the top, okay? So be sure that you copy the code. Be sure that it's okay for you and that you can use it, okay? Oh yeah. It's backwards loan. Okay. Now, guys, I'm going to take a time for that. Let me put the screen completely clear so you're gonna see the code. Let's give 5 minutes so you will be able to climb the code, okay? In that time, I'm going to take the time. So I'm going to take a quick break, about 3 minutes or less. So I'm going to continue after that, okay? So and remember, we are going to have another code at 8:30. Hello, 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 hello. Okay, so it seems that we got enough time to take the class, so we're gonna continue, guys. We're gonna start now with the next part, okay? So as we already claimed the code, let's continue where we left, and we were working on this one, okay? So we already got a relaxed time, okay? Yeah, I was refill my coffee because guys, without coffee there is no life. Mm. Okay, so guys, now let's continue with it. Okay, so we already finished those. So now we have all the basics. Now we need to get this started activity. Okay, so how it works for that one? We need to go back. We need to move back to our trigger section. And now that we finish here, we are going to create another trigger, okay? So the trigger we are going to create, it's, as you see, are not that complicated. I think with explanation, it's going to be easier to understand. And now we are going to rename it. We are going to change that name for select any activity, okay? So once more, doing a recap here, if we move to the basics, whenever the player clicks a button here, that means whenever the player clicks on any part of the interaction UI, the one that we create for select activity, there are two kind of triggers that are going to be executed. The first one is this one that selects any activity. Once more, it has all the basic things that we always gonna have in the different activities. So we are going to avoid to create a lot of actions that we repeat all the time, and they are going to be just in one trigger, okay? And it's going to start the timer, so the next, after 10 seconds, the activity is going to work. But also, the different activities, the activities that you click on are going to be executed at the same time, okay? So we are going to start with this part, with any activity here, and we are going to do that, okay? So what we are going to do is that we are going to add the first action, okay? And how it's going to work for the first action is just as simple, okay? Remember, guys, remember, very important, all of this needs to be done inside the UI, okay? Because if you are doing it from the normal triggers, it's not going to work, and you are not going to see the same actions I'm seeing here, okay? So first action, you are going to go here, and you are going to click on interface, okay? Oh, we got a lot of like actions removed for some reason, okay? But all right, it's okay. So we are going to select current interface. Any button is press it or release it. No, it's release it, okay? So it's this one, it's the first one. Be sure that it's release it. What will be the difference of, like, the first one is when you click the button, the second one is if you give the click on and then you release the finger, it's going to activate it, okay? So the second one is going to be better than the first one. The first one can be sometimes a little bit tricky to work with, so we're going to use this one, okay? And we are not going to add any condition, as we are going to use this for any activity, okay? Once more, then we are going to have each activity, but for this one you can use, it's going to work with any button on the activity, okay? And the first thing that we are going to do is that once we have the activity open, we are going to close it. We don't need the activity mirror once more. So what we are going to use is close interface, okay? And when you add it, it's going to, actually not like that, sorry. The actual one that we are doing, because at the beginning we already create those three, and we have one that hides for all the players, not just for that player. So we are going to execute that one, okay? So go to player group and select the one that says operate trigger to a player set. And once you have that, guys, once you have operate trigger to a player set, we are going to select which one, okay? So remember, on here, you always are going to keep all players, and we are going to select in here, display. This is not going to be in brain, this is going to be in displayed, and we have one that says hide for all, okay? So we are going to select that one. And also, guys, this is going to be very important, check that on here we have a true, okay? Because we have some conditions in the other one, so be sure that you check in the conditions, okay? Once we do that, we are going to start the timer, okay? Remember, guys, the main function of this is to create a 10 seconds timer here. So we are going to do that. Let's do the next one. We go to right here and we search for timer, and you are going to use this button. This button name is run countdown timer, so you are going to select that one. And once you select that one, once you select next activity timer, the countdown needs to be for 10 seconds, okay? So remember, we need to select on here the variable. Remember that we, at this time, you're supposed to have already created that. If you haven't, please check the previous classes because you are missing a lot. So you are going to select next activity timer, and be sure that you put on here 10 seconds, okay? 10 seconds means that, once more, we are going to have a dead time, and repeated timer needs to be false, okay? Very important. Now, we are going to actually play a sound, okay? And we are going to just play a sound for the players. Remember, this is going to be feedback. So the players is going to know that the player choose the activity. So you are going to add a sound for the player, okay? So click here, just go to sound effect, and players turn on sound effect, okay? So the sound I placed, the sound I'm making for the players, it's going to be this one. I'm going to pause the music a little bit, and the sound is this one, okay? Notice that probably you haven't heard that sound because I use behavior 48 and I change the key, okay? So once more, if I put a number 1 here, it's going to sound different. What I did is just put a 5 on here to make it sound a little bit different. Like a little bit more funny and a little bit less terrific, okay? And that's it. You add it. Next, after that, we are going to clear the screen, guys, okay? So remember, I already teach you this trick. What you do is actually you go here, you go to player group and you display chat info for all the players, okay? And when you display the chat info for all the players, what you are going to do is that you are going to select on here all players, and once more this on here you are just going to put this one, okay? This one is going to be like a space. Once more, if I delete this, what you are going to see is anything. There is nothing here, but actually it's going to be this code, okay? With this code, you are going to create a new line here. So that's what I'm using here, okay? That is just going to give an space so information is going to be clear, okay? And now probably this is the first time you are going to see this, and it's going to be the total activities, okay? Remember, total activities, it's the one that measures how many mini games we are playing. Remember that we can set up a number of activities. And welcome Dark Knight, how are you? And also welcome Kenzie. Kenzie says, I'm so late. Don't worry for that, Kenzie. Remember that you always can check just the resume that I'm going to submit, or check out this video back. So don't worry, you are not missing a lot. But if you want to add the activity menu to your map, you will be able to check how it works. Okay, so total activities counts the amount of activities that we currently have. So we create this variable previously, but this is the first time that we are going to use it, okay? So once more, we need to select assigned in value setup. With that, we can change numbers, we can do math calculations, and we are going to select here the variable, and the variable that we are going to create here is going to be called total activities, okay? It's this one, so remember to select this one. Sorry guys, I got like IPO. I don't know how to call that in English. I forgot how to call that, but in Spanish we call IPO. It's like hip, hip. Okay, so we are going to do a numeric calculation here, guys. So go to maths. You see, guys, I'm getting like out of air. I need more coffee. Now you are going to select numeric calculation. Okay, and in numeric calculation, you are going to select in the first one, total activities, just once more this one, and we are going to add one, so that means that we have an extra activity right now. And then we got the easiest part, is that we are going to wait just a second. Remember to wait, you need to select on here, timer. Okay, I need to be sure that I'm not like covering that part, so I'm going to make the screen a little bit slow, a little bit smaller, and you are going to select timer, and you are going to select hide components, okay? Sorry, what I'm doing is timer, and you are going to select waiting time, okay? This one. And once you select that one, just wait 1 second, and we are going to perform the next action. And the action is going to be really easy. What you're going to do is, as an action, you are going to select player group and chat info, okay? So what it's going to do, the chat info, it's going to tell the players which activity the players select, the main player, okay? So that's very easy. Select display chat info to every player. Go ahead, select function library, player group, and select all players right here. And the content is string concatenation. So go ahead, screen. Oh, what is this for? No idea what is this for, but it seems that this is something new. But sorry, let's keep with this. You are going to select player concatenation. So remember here, you can choose on general string concatenation here. And in the first, you're gonna select the player or the host. In my case, I'm using the devil selects 2 points. And then we are going to select a group. Remember once more here. And remember this table that we just create of these different activities sections in here. So once was like singing or comedy, that was the activity name, okay? So we are going to use that, okay? So we need to go to function library, string group, and string ID, okay? So remember this key, it's going to be the ID. We are going to tell the game, oh, okay, we are going to, the player choose activity number 3, so say what activity name has in the number 3 or in the line 3, and it's going to be comedy, okay? So that's an example. Of course, this is going to be adaptive. It depends on what you choose. So select that one. And once more, our key is going to be next activity. So next activity, it's going to be activity name. Once more, it's going to be any of those lines, okay? And that's it. So select next activity and variables. And then we are going to select the group that is being called activity name. Once more, is this group, okay? Activity name. And that's it. As you see, guys, we already finished our brain. It's going to be easier about most of the common brains we made due to the groups, okay? That's making the things a lot, 100% easier. Of course, Doggy, yeah, please give me your UID, and at the end of the class, I'm going to add you as a friend, okay? All right, now, guys, we got finished our brain on here, all right? So once we got finished our brain, okay, that is all this map that we made, we already have this and this created in our brain. So what we are going to start is to work with the activities, okay? So this is going to be easy, guys. Remember, all the activities that we are going to make, all the different activities are going to be in a folder that is being called interactions, okay? That's going to be the group, so we can see it here. And the important thing about this is that all the different activities are going to have the same trigger, the same structure. The only difference is going to be the information, okay? So once you create one, you can just go ahead and copy and paste, and then you just need to change the information, okay? So we're gonna start and we're gonna create the first one, okay? So you are going to create an activity. In my case, it's going to be sing. Be sure that the activity that you create is the second one, okay? So remember, number 0 is no activity at all. Number 1 is the relax activity, in which we can choose which activity we are going to play next. And the number 2 is going to be the actual first activity that you have, okay? So in my case, the first activity is sing, okay? So it's going to be the first one, okay? The idea is the number 2 of very important, but is going the actual first activity that we can choose. So choose your first activity, okay? In my case, it's going to be called sign, okay? And this is going to be sign. What are going to be the conditions, okay? Remember, for this, we need already to have created a button for our activity in our UI. So the first action that we are going to select is interface, and we are going to select create a current activity button is released, okay? And then we are going to add a conditions, okay? So the condition is in interface, and we are going to determine a component, okay, here. So it's going to ask us which component and which activity, okay? So we're gonna select event component, yes, in current edit interface, and then it's going to ask us which one we are going to choose. So once more, we are going to select event component, we are going to select template library, and on here we're gonna have our UI. So as we are going to work with sign, we are going to select sign, okay? And be sure you are selecting the button, okay? Because I also have here like all the different information, but you need to select the button, okay? The button number 1 is the one that covers signs, so I'm going to choose that one, okay? Now, first thing we are going to add are some actions, okay? And very important, guys, we have a time in here, and the timer is very like sync with the other trigger that we create before, okay? So you need to use the same weighting here, okay? So what we are going to do right now is that we are going to add an action, okay? So the action, it's going to be on here, and we are going to assign, okay? And the first thing that we are going to assign is the next activity, okay? The value setup. All right, so next activity, okay, on here, next activity, it's going to be the number 2, okay? So once more, number 2 is assigned, okay? And remember that we are working with it, so we are going to use this key. Remember, each activity for you is going to change the number, but we are going to choose the ID of the activity here, okay? Now, we need to add something else that is a variable we are going to assign, and we are going to select area setup, okay? And the area setup, okay, it's going to be next activity area, and we have to choose here where is going to take place your activity. In my case, when you sign or when you are going to do any voice activity, we gonna choose the auditorium, okay? So here you have the different regions. You are going to select yours, okay? So remember, my case is going to take place on there. Depending on your activity, you are going to have different regions, okay? Next, we are going to do something important, and it's that it's important this because you cannot translate the variables, but you can translate some specific things, okay? So thank you so much, and Eugen Bantuan, for just repeating the code, okay? So what we are going to put on here is going to be the text or the instructions that we are going to select in that area, okay? So how do you do this, or how do you are going to make it? It's just you are going to add, we are going to scroll down, and we are going to select displayed information, and then we are going to select create information on location. Okay, once you select that one, you are going to have the next information. So on the first one, you need to select text box, okay? So you have like different information here. You are going to select text box. You are going to open it, and on here is going to tell you which text box, okay? So I have already placed my information here, but just for you to see, I'm going to copy all. So you are going to see the raw code here in my notepad. Hi Leslie, how are you? Hola Leslie, ¿cómo estás? Bienvenida a la clase. I see that a student for the Spanish class is coming here, so I'm just saying hello in Spanish. Okay, so once more, as you see, to be able to do this, to sync and separate this, what I do is I use this N, okay? So if I take out this N, the text is going to be normal, okay? And you're not gonna see it because it's right here. Okay, as you see, it's like kind of breaking the laws, but what you have to do is just to put this code to do these different lines. And as you see, it's telling the instructions for the players. So it's telling the game, use your microphone to sign. The devil choose who is gonna sign, okay? All right, that's simple, okay? You can select a font size, and very important, guys, select a background opacity around 30, so it's going to make a square around the area where the text is going to be. And then always keep the same activity here, the same number, okay? All right, so that's going to be the first one. The second one is that we are going to choose where is the players can see this, okay? So just select here, function library, and you select central location of an area. And the area we are going to choose is just the one that we are working with, that is next activity area, okay? So that's going to create the instructions. Now, after that, you just need to click on actions. And then after actions, we are going to add another wait, okay? That's it. We are going to select another wait, and we are going to wait 1 second, okay? After that, we need to pause some specific amount of waiting time. So we are just going to copy here, okay? And we are going to paste, okay? Why is this? List is going to wait 1 second. Most of the time it's going to wait more than 1 second, okay? So you're going to pause 1 second, and after that you're going to wait another. So just copy, paste, and on the second one we are going to place a numerical calculation. So how do you do this? You go to math numerical calculation, And in numerical calculation, you are going to select a time for that, okay, guys? So the timer time is the time that we have in the activity timer to wait, okay? So as you see, always is going to take the time, okay? Just for Dougie, I'm just chatting you on the chat. That's my UID, Dougie, okay? So the timer time, it's going to be next activity timer, okay? So once more, we select on here, you select function, you select on here timer time, and on you are going to select activity timer, okay? Next activity timer is the one that we gonna choose, and it's just going to be for make things easier, okay? And you are going to add 3.1 seconds, okay? What it's going to do that is just going to be sure that we always have enough time to show that. Sorry guys, my EPO is attacking again. And then we put the easy things, okay? So we are going to give the instructions for the players in two different times. The first time is we are going to tell the players like, hey, use your microphone. And the second one, we are going to give the second instruction. So it's going to be easier for the players for read all the instructions, okay? So what we have to do here is just go on here, go to player group, select chat info to player group, and we are going to choose all players, and we are going to select the first instruction, okay? Why I'm using this? Because you can translate this while others are not be able to be translated. So it's going to be easier for the players if you can translate that. Of course, now it's like a book on MiniWord, and sometimes it doesn't work. But if you can translate to different languages, all the players will know what they have to do, okay? So that's important because you can use this. It's why you doing in this way. Otherwise, we can choose another way, like triggers, scripts. But I prefer to do this because it's going to be clearer for the players, okay? So the content is the first instructions. In my case, is use your device microphone to sign. Then we gonna wait manually and just go ahead and type here timer, and you are going to add a waiting time. The waiting time is going to be 4 seconds to continue and perform the next action, okay? And that's it. After the 4 seconds, we are going to choose to all players, and we are going to give the second instructions, okay? So the first one says activate your microphone to sing, and the second one is going to be the player choose who is going to wins or sings, impress other players, and that's it. As you see, it's not that difficult, okay? So next, we gonna have the second one, and the second one is just the same, okay? So I'm going to show you very quickly. The only thing that you need to do is to copy and paste, and then change the name, and you change the name of the event. Once more, remember the number 2 is signed. Now we are going to move to the next one, and for me the number 3 is comedy, okay? So we just gonna make the same here. You go to your strip, and the things that you need to edit first is the condition. So we need to change the event here. So remember, this is going to ask the system which button has been touched or clicked on or tap. So we are going to select a different component. So choose library. And before we got this one that it was signed, now we are going to choose comedy. So choose the button that you use for comedy. Okay. And now on here, we are going to choose now which number of activity is it. So remember, in my keys, we are going to use now the number 3, okay? So we change that on here, okay? So as you see, now it's number 3. Now once more, we need to select the area. So once more, choose the area where you are going to place that. And as you see, it's just by replacing, okay? So once more, the only thing that you need to change after that is with the activity. So in this case, is use your microphone to tell jokes. And the second instruction is going to be the devil choose who tells the jokes, make the players laugh, okay? And as you see, all the activities are just the same. The things that change are the button, the activity, the area where this is going to take place, and the different instructions, okay? So you need to add as much activities as you want it, and you need to select manually. I have 9 activities here, so I place 9 activities here, okay? That's important. All right, so water war is going to be the last one. As you see, it's the activity number 9 on here. We got the activity number 9, okay? Once more, as an example in this one, we have the button number 8. Once more, I'm just showing you the last one to see that is going to be the same. As you see, it's going to be the button for the water war. The activity is the number 9, and this time the location is going to be a little bit different because it's going to be in the beach. But you see the instructions are going to be a little bit different. Use lava gun and balance to hit other players. And the second one is to show tricks and enjoy, okay? So it's very important, guys. As you see, it's easier to make this, okay? So now we have the timing here. We have 8:31, so I'm going to give you the next code. And we already finished the class, okay? So with this, guys, you will be able to do the different things, to do the different activities that you want to do, okay? So once more, this is the last code that I'm going to give today. All right, and let me read you very quickly here. Okay, Doggy, okay, perfect. Thank you for sending the request. Leslie is telling me, oye, yo, dime, te escucho. Lo que pasa es que estamos en la clase de inglés, pero dime en qué te puedo ayudar. And Loblox says, hey, yo, it's 8:30. Okay, perfect. I just give the code right now. Yes, it's the last code. All right. So what else we have here? All right. So if you have questions, guys, you can take the time to ask me now. Remember that we already finished with the topics of today. Tomorrow, we are going to learn how to create the reaction bar. And most important, I'm going to take the time, but I need to check that because it seems now it's not working very fine, but we are going to learn how to move or how to change 3D models or how to turn 3D models into actual models inside MiniWorld. So that's going to be for tomorrow, guys. We are going to learn, but not sure. Once more, let me confirm because it seems that now it's not working very fine. But we're gonna learn a couple of tricks. Let me replace the code peanut in the top. But we're gonna learn a couple of tricks, okay? Just give me a second here. I don't remember where I put it. Okay, yeah, it's 3D workspace. Magic Boxer, let's do this. All right. Tomorrow, if we got enough time, we are going to learn how to turn this, okay, so this 3D model into this model that you're seeing in the screen now, okay? So we are going to learn how to do that, probably, not sure, okay? So first things that we are going to do tomorrow, once more, just to repeat, is that we are going to learn how to turn those models into miniatures here. And we are also going to learn how to make the reaction bar, this bar with the awesome meter. That is going to be the final part. So first we are going to learn how to do this. And then if we got enough time, we are going to learn that. So welcome, Madam Queen. How are you? Welcome to the streaming from Thailand. And very important, guys, I know that the streaming for Thailand is going to be next. So if you want to check their class, it's very good. So you can move next to the next class. That is going to be with Madam Queen. If you want to place the link, or actually don't need to, just click on the MiniWorld Creata Thailand account. You will be able to be redirected to Madam Queen streaming, okay? All right, guys. So at this point, I understand that you don't have not that much questions. This is that's going to be the end of the class right now. And remember, guys, if you need to contact me, if you have questions or anything like that, I'm going to place back here the code here, so you will be able to just go forward to the Discord group. Okay, so just once more, let me put the code for the Discord group here, and that will be it for now. Okay, guys. So now the class has been completely ended. Thank you so much for assisting. Tomorrow we have the final class. And remember, guys, once more, before saying bye, because I'm saying bye right now, but remember the time, okay? Remember the last date, and the last time that you can submit your map is going to be March 13th. So be sure that you submit your map before that. And once more, starting the day after tomorrow, you can start submitting your map, okay? So, guys, that will be it for now. Thank you so much for assisting. YeyoCore is saying bye to all of you, and I hope you have an excellent weekend. Or I'm not sure. Okay, I think you are already on weekends. I'm not sure about that, but if you are in weekend, have an excellent day. Bye, bye, guys, and thank you so much for.